Hi guys, and welcome back to the Hot Seat. I am your host Priscilla Moy, and as always, we're going to always get right into it. Our first guest is an amazing fashion designer. I had the pleasure of meeting him not too long ago. He actually has a history with social media shows, which is absolutely amazing. He is a Filipino fashion designer coming back on social media shows because he also has a TV show called Spotlight where he reviews movies, independent films, etc., etc., etc. So if you want to go watch those, make sure to head over to that show and start watching and supporting his show. So everyone, please welcome the fabulous and never boring JC Crisologo. Hello, Mr.
Hello,
Rhinestone.
hello,
yes,
hello.
how are you, darling? Please take a
Oh,
seat.
one more kiss.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Do
I
as the
just
French
came
do.
from France, so it's
I was about
two
to
kisses.
say, like, as the French do.
Yes.
He loves the French designers,
Yes,
as we
yes.
all do. I mean, I am in Balmain today, so
Yes,
obviously.
she is all the way around in Balmain.
Yes, I knew he
Yes.
loved shoulder pads, so I was like, this is the perfect outfit to do with JC.
Yes, the shoulder pads are back with a vengeance. Although
always.
I don't have mine today.
It's about being dynamic,
yes,
right?
yes, absolutely.
So let's get into it. So you are a fashion designer, you're an actor, and you're also a TV host. So you have history in theater, but obviously your main passion is fashion. Fashion is your religion. That's the first thing he told me when we met. He's like, fashion is my religion.
Yes.
Right, honey? So tell us what's the story? Are you originally from the Philippines?
I'm originally from the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
My mom is half Filipino, half Spanish, and my dad's Filipino. But here in America, I discovered that my dad had a Greek side to him, and so hence the last name Crisologo, which is two words, Criso and Logo, which means gold speaks or golden speaks.
It's perfect.
And I just discovered it.
Okay, well,
in America.
Period. So, what part of the Philippines are you from?
So I'm originally from Isabela, the north part of the Philippines. My mom's from Isabela. My dad is from Ilocos. So we're the Ilocanos. Mm-hmm. Just like the Directoire Pureza. She's also Ilocana, yes.
Our amazing producer.
Yes.
So was fashion always your passion when you were young?
Yes. My family members played a large role to this. My aunt from New York was so highly cultured, and she just loved, the opera, the theater, fashion, and she introduced to me the fashion of New York, and she introduced me in dressing in black, and she would always say, New York is very stately.
Yes.
And all that. And although I do love color, and I add some color to it, but I do it in moderation, or sometimes,
Yes.
All within the boundaries of good taste.
You can never go wrong with black.
Yes.
It's my favorite color.
Yes.
Obviously.
And I love the theater. I love acting. I love singing. I love cinema. I love sci-fi films.
Yes.
And I'm absolutely obsessed with Thierry Mugler.
Yes.
Because he brought, back in the day, he brought a theater in his fashion shows. One time you were in hell, seeing demons come out and vampires. And then in another fashion show, you would see angels and an apparition coming down, from the heavens above. And it was just this contrast and very otherworldly and sci-fi that made me fall in love with Thierry Mugler.
That's amazing. So all of this started in the Philippines. When did you move over to the States?
So I moved to the States in 2002, and it took 10 years for me to get here because I was in line and I was already older when my dad, who happened to be a U.S. citizen, petitioned for me. So it took a while.
Okay, so where did you move initially? Did you move straight to Las Vegas, or did you have a few stops along the way in where you lived?
Since my dad lives in the Bay Area, I lived with him.
Okay.
Yes, in the Bay Area, and then moved to LA, and then moved to Vegas.
Okay, that's amazing. So you have your own fashion design.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what inspires your particular line and your design.
So I love architecture. I love modern and futuristic architecture, and once again, I incorporate things that I see in movie, like the sci-fi flicks that I see. So I try to incorporate it in my designs. I'm not really into florals.
Right.
Florals for spring. Groundbreaking.
Not us. Okay, not
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh my god.
So I love, fierce and fabulous style. Sometimes it could be for a vampy vixen, or sometimes it could be like for a character in the movie like La Femme Nikita, like she's into an espionage and
Yeah.
she's like an action hero,
Yeah.
or she's like the Black Widow, or she's about to take over the world like Wonder Woman. So, those are the types of goddesses that are in my mind when I start designing.
So do you have particular fabrics that you like to use? Do you like leather? Do you like chiffon? Do you like silk? What is?
I love leather and I love patent leather.
That was
I
my
love
second
black
guess, yeah.
patent leather because I remember the first time that I went to Hong Kong and it was winter over there. And I went there with colorful outfits and all that. And it was a shock that all the women there looked like they came from the Matrix.
Ooh.
All like black patent
Yeah.
leather from top. And I was like, I feel so out of place here wearing my orange jacket.
You need to go to Japan for that.
Yes, exactly. But still, I mean, Japan is also the epicenter of fashion in Asia. Oh
They're
my
definitely
gosh.
very avant-garde.
They don't play.
Yeah, eccentric, avant-garde. They test limits.
Yes.
You wouldn't think, right?
Yes.
But we love it. Everyone loves it. But
we love the Harajuku girl.
Yes. I still have some stuff. When Gwen Stefani had her line.
There you go. Yes.
I still have her bags, her little perfumes with the little girls on it. Anyway,
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have a line? Do you have designs you're working on right now? Is there like a premiere for a show in the future?
Right now, I placed everything on hold. Because I have a day job and I'm doing social media shows. But eventually, when my funds will allow me to do it, I think I'm gonna open up my my fashion line again.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because I'm in the right place. Vegas is the right place, and we're just very close to LA. I could see myself doing LA Fashion Week or New York.
Yes, obviously. But what I want to ask is, now that you're back in Las Vegas and that's kind of an end goal for you to reopen your line and start showcasing at these fashion shows, do you feel like you want to be a part of the growing fashion community in Vegas? Because I know we kind of lack it. We don't have a particular style. There's no Vegas street style. There's no fashion week that's big enough. There is one, but it's very independent.
Yeah.
Throwing a bunch of people who want to be in it, right?
Yes. I think that, there is a Las Vegas Fashion Designers Association here in Vegas, which is spearheaded by the amazing David Tupas, and so proud of him. He's also Filipino, and he's made it big in Hollywood, amongst the Hollywood stars, and he shows in New York Fashion Week. I think that we need more people like him here in Las Vegas who takes fashion really seriously, and not people who just, when you see their shows and everything, I mean, it just looks like a complete joke because it's not the legitimate thing that you and I are used to. Yeah. And I know that you're very well versed in fashion.
Yes.
I'm very proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Fashion is. I always had a dream when I was young. I was either going to be a stylist or a designer. I would start designing when I was younger. But then obviously I wanted to be on camera too. So I'm like, how do we mold that? Maybe one day I can have my own collab with somebody.
But I could see your style.
And I love showcasing it for you guys. But that is what we lack, and it's kind of good for independent people that really have their own fashion, because I feel like a lot of people come to Vegas with their own knowledge from wherever they're from. They bring it here and they just do their own thing, but there's no community where we can celebrate fashion, where we can showcase original designs, not repurchased and put together for the runway, but literal, drawn out, digitally drawn out, designed for particular models and something new and refreshing. Right, and I'm glad that that's kind of like your goal.
Yes.
And I know you've gone to Paris and you're going to New York.
Yes.
To see a lot of designers, really showcase a lot of their work. So tell us about when you went to Paris. What really stood out for you?
Well, first of all, my main goal of flying at all the way to Paris is to see Thierry Mugler. It's funny that when I booked my ticket to the museum, Mugler was still alive back then. And then 2 months before I flew to Paris, unfortunately, he passed away through, some mysterious causes. And I really, really, really loved the Thierry Mugler exhibit. And so did my travel companion. She loved it so much, but that we stayed stuck in that museum for 3 hours. So that's how much she was not expecting to love it that much. So we just took videos and pictures and all that. And then incidentally, since I'm going to New York the second week of May, it feels like the spirit of Mugler is following me, because my first day in New York is the last day of the Mugler exhibit, and it's going to be in the Brooklyn Museum this time. The same exhibit that was in the Louvre at the Mad Museum, and we all say Mad because the real name of the museum is Musée des Arts Décoratifs, but who could pronounce that, right?
Just you and the French.
So we say Mad Museum. So that very same retrospective will be shown in New York when I will be there. So I'm like, what are the odds? Like, what is, the universe telling me? What is God telling me?
To push your design.
Yes.
Mugler has inspired you. Now that he's passed on, his legacy lives on. It's now your turn to rise up and one day end with your own exhibit.
Yes.
All around that travel, so people can come see your designs. And what better way for it to start in Las Vegas and then have you take in, do you feel like you take in a lot by just watching, sitting back and watching, and then kind of using that to make your next moves in the fashion industry? Yes.
And one last thing about my trip to New York. I will fly over there to see Karl Lagerfeld as well.
Yes. Amazing. Chanel.
The man who gave his cat $300 million as an inheritance.
Yeah.
Choupette.
We always want to be a cat. How can we be that cat? Right? Amazing. Yes. So a little bit in the fashion industry itself. So you have your own likes, you have your own dislikes, but I know that there's a lot of stigmas to how fashion is showcased. Now, they all try to revolutionize different ways of doing a show, but we see a lot of lack when it comes to models, right? There's a stigma of you have to make your original design in a certain size, and that's why they have to choose models of a certain height and bust size, hips, all of those things. Do you believe in that? What would your vision be if you were to have an opportunity to showcase your line in Las Vegas? Would you follow that same pattern, or would you try to revolutionize, mold it a little bit?
I think for the line that's going to be sold ready to wear in the stores and the boutique, well, I definitely will cater to people with different sizes and not just the supermodel size, but for the runway, because I'm very very old school. I'm stuck in the 80s and the 90s. So I still, and I know I might be crucified for saying this, but I still like to see the Jerry Hall type of a model. Jerry Hall, Iman, and Naomi Campbell, Linda, where there were like true glamazon goddesses on the catwalk, on the runway shows. I still would love to see that.
Yes, because that's still very prevalent, apart from Rihanna.
Yes, apart from Rihanna,
and apart from plus-size designs.
Yes.
But obviously, then I won't be doing your runway. I'll just be doing your print
campaigns.
No,
honey, no.
I'll just be doing his print campaigns, but...
Well, guess what? The print campaign will be blown up in a building somewhere in Times Square in New York.
Yeah,
and there she will be in the middle of Times Square.
Hey, goals. Hashtag dreams, hashtag goals.
That's and of course, amazing. Because you'll be there, you'll be exposed in Times Square, you'll also be in my show. She'll be the bride.
Great. I can't wait. Now I'm
Yes.
going to hold you to it. I have your number,
Oh, yes,
and I'm going to
yes.
be like, so how's that line? Because, but anyway, so let's move on a little bit. Now you have history with theater and acting, and now you have your own show on this network. So
Yes.
what is it like being a host for a show that critiques movies? Since you are an actor, you kind of see both sides. So tell us how you kind of formulated the beginnings of this TV show.
Spotlight. Just to let your viewers know, before this, two years ago, when I was, I was still here in social media, I had another show called Fab Life. And so I did a lot of movie reviews as well, and fashion reviews, and all the big commercial box office hit movies. Now it's a little bit challenging because my task is to see, watch independent movies and critique them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit challenging for me since
Yeah.
I'm not really used to watching independent movies,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's really fascinating and very interesting.
Yeah,
Yes.
you learn a lot, especially being an actor. Now, do
Yes.
you feel like you're worried about telling your true feelings and your critiques on camera, or are you just no filter, you're going to say the truth to whoever's watching?
I feel like it's going to be half and half. I know I'm giving myself away. And if I have a harsh critique, I'll try to, filter it in a very polite way.
Mhm.
Yes.
Well, that's good, though, because I think
Mhm.
we need more people to say what's real. And because
Mhm.
these are independent films, and a lot of these films are being shot in Las Vegas,
Yes.
it helps people grow that way. Because a lot of people, I think, when they do a lot of, especially in Las Vegas, they do a lot of businesses or careers and things like that. A lot of ego can get in the way. It's a smaller city. Everyone's trying to hustle and chase the dream. So I think for you, the good thing is because you're not really scared of having
Mhm.
that underlying truth, it might really make people grow
Yes.
and really pay attention to independent films because they could be amazing too at the same time.
Yes.
And just promote them and
Yes.
do all those things. So if you guys have an independent film, you can submit them. You can sponsor us, and then JC can critique.
Yes, I can
your
critique,
things
or I can also star in your independent.
Oh, that
movies.
too. And then he can also just be as fabulous as he is, and then
Oh, absolutely.
and then, showcase to you what fashion is.
Just put me in a fabulous costume and I'll be fine.
So I want to ask one last question before
Mhm.
we head to break, and I always ask my guests one of these really hard questions. Is there a philosophy that you live by?
A philosophy
Mhm.
that
That you
I
live
live
by.
by. Express yourself.
Oh,
That's
I love
that's and I always express myself, whether people like me in person or in social media, whether they accept me or not. I just
Right.
express myself.
That's amazing.
Everybody loves JC.
They
Gosh.
do. Everyone loves JC.
Puresa, is that you?
The main thing is a lot of people fear expressing themselves in a
Yeah.
genuine and authentic way because I
Yes.
think a lot of people are trying so hard to create an image of themselves to be liked, right? And they're
Yes.
scared that if they're not what's popular,
Yes.
if their personality, their likes, dislikes are not trending, they feel that they won't be accepted. And I feel like this
Right.
is a time and a generation where that should be null. It should be what you just said, express
Yes.
yourself. And I love asking
Yes.
that question because every time I watch my guests think about the answer because they're unprepared
Yes.
and they say it, I think the answer sums up them totally.
Yes.
Like when one phrase, and it's amazing. I should make a compilation of this.
Yes.
Every person I ask that question to, it fits perfectly for them and kind of literally who you are as a person. You're express yourself 24/7. And it
Yes.
shows. And I
Mhm.
love it. Every time I see you, you're full of energy, full of life. He's got a lot to say, a lot to express, and he doesn't hide it. And these are the people we need, especially
Yes.
in fashion.
Yes, especially in fashion.
Especially in fashion.
One last thing, the reason why Lady Gaga is my goddess.
Yes.
Because she is like, oh my gosh, I'm at a loss for words. But she really expressed herself fearlessly.
Unapologetic.
unapologetically.
She was my idol back when she still is, because of how she just didn't care. She was ahead of her time. She would do things and she would create things that people now find legendary. And she has her own museum.
Yes.
The stuff that she would wear, especially Alexander McQueen.
Oh my gosh.
She made me love Alexander McQueen. The heels that were like the claw. Yes. That was the moment for me.
And incidentally, those lobster heels were sold for $12,000. And after McQueen passed away, unfortunately, there was a lady that bought the shoes. And she had no intention of wearing it for $12,000.
You just place them there. They're a work of art itself.
Yeah, in the middle of her dining room. And
as it should be.
Yes.
It's a work of art, and that's what fashion should be.
Yes.
Amazing. So, JC, thank you so much for being on my show. You've been an amazing guest.
Thank you for having me.
I love that you're bringing fashion to Las Vegas, and I love that he's bringing fashion to you viewers. And normally it's just me, but now we have JC here that's also bringing fashion to you and bless your eyes with amazing rhinestones and patent leather and Matrix and Carmen Sandiego, like all of the above, Lady Gaga. And Mugler. H&M's going to have a Mugler collaboration.
I know, I'm so excited.
So you better be first in line.
Yes.
Get your pieces now, honey.
You'll see me with a giant shoulder pad.
Oh, yes, period. We can be shoulder pad.
Yes,
yes,
absolutely.
That'd be amazing. I would love to have you back when this line comes out. I'm saying when, because I'm going to manifest it for you. It's going to happen.
Oh, yes.
When it happens, we're going to showcase them here. And I would love to wear one while we interview you, and we can talk about your structure and everything. I love it.
Everything.
Love it.
From your luscious lips to God's ear.
But everyone, JC, please look him up. Keep in contact. He is on Instagram, right? And he is on Facebook. Tell them your handle really quick before we head to break.
Pardon me?
Your handle, your Instagram handle, where to find you?
J. Crisologo.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So when we come back, we have an amazing athlete, actor, and someone full of charisma ready to take this seat and hopefully not actually die of fire because it is the hot seat. But anyway, JC, everyone, stay tuned for our next guest.